Urgent Baltimore Ravens fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Baltimore Ravens updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Ravens fans, today's update is packed with some hot-off-the-press news that could potentially change the outlook for your team in the upcoming season. We're talking about a blockbuster trade proposal that's been floating around in NFL circles, one that involves none other than the Green Bay Packers star cornerback, Jaire Alexander. Imagine a scenario where Baltimore makes a bold move to upgrade their secondary, especially after a season where their pass defense was among the worst in the league. It's a story that has everyone talking, and you know I'm here to break it all down for you, so let's get into the details. First, a quick reminder about the state of the Ravens secondary. Last year, Baltimore ranked 31st in passing yards allowed, which is simply unacceptable for a team that aspires to contend for the playoffs and beyond. Their pass defense was porous, and that's a problem that needs fixing if they want to be serious contenders. They did make some moves in the offseason, like drafting Bilal Cohn in the 6th round and bringing in veteran Chidobe Awuzie, who's been a solid player when healthy. But the truth is, they still lack that elite, lockdown cornerback that can really elevate the unit and give quarterbacks less room to operate. That's where Jaire Alexander comes into the picture. Now, what do we know about Alexander? Well, he's a two-time Pro Bowler, a player with incredible talent, speed, agility, and ball skills. But his recent seasons have been marred by injuries, and that's created some uncertainty about his future. After 3 injury-plagued seasons in 4 years, there's been a lot of speculation about whether the Packers will keep him or explore trades. According to NFL insider Josina Anderson, the Packers are in a tricky spot. She reports that there is already an understanding between the Packers and Alexander to work out his contract and roster status before the start of their offseason program. But at the same time, she mentions that the Packers have been exploring trade options, and even releasing him is on the table. This opens up some really interesting possibilities for a team like Baltimore. Picture this, the Ravens, who desperately need a boost in their secondary, making a move to bring in Alexander. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, can Baltimore afford him? Well, here's where it gets complicated. The Ravens currently have about $11.1 million in cap space, which is far from enough to comfortably fit a player with a $24.6 million cap hit. So, any trade or signing would require some maneuvering, either the Packers picking up some of Alexander's salary or Alexander himself agreeing to a pay cut or restructuring. But there's a twist. According to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, Alexander might prefer to be released outright so he can choose his next team rather than be traded. That's a big deal because it means the Ravens could potentially get him on a cheaper, more flexible deal, without giving up draft capital, something that makes the move more appealing. Imagine a scenario where Baltimore signs him as a free agent, and he fits right into their defensive scheme, providing that much-needed lockdown presence opposite Marlon Humphrey and alongside Nate Wiggins. That trio would instantly become one of the most talented and promising cornerback groups in the league. Let's take a moment to analyze what this could mean for Baltimore's defense. If they manage to land Alexander, they'd have a formidable secondary, capable of shutting down even the most explosive offenses. Think about it, Alexander's speed and ball skills, combined with Humphrey's physicality and Wiggins' potential, would create a defensive backfield that could really lock down receivers and give quarterbacks nightmares. It's a game-changer, especially considering how much the pass game has evolved across the league. Teams are throwing more than ever, and having a reliable, elite cornerback can tilt the balance in your favor. But, of course, it's not just about talent, it's also about the financial side. Baltimore's front office will need to get creative. They might have to restructure contracts, create cap space, or even consider some clever salary cap tricks to fit Alexander into the roster. The good news is that with the salary cap slightly increasing each year, there's room to maneuver, especially if the team is willing to make strategic moves. Plus, Alexander's current market value might be lower than expected due to his recent injury history, which could work in Baltimore's favor. Now, let's talk a little about what this means for the team's strategy moving forward. The Ravens are in a bit of a win-now mode. They have a solid core, a developing offense led by Lamar Jackson, and a defense that's been solid but needs that final piece to push them over the edge. Bringing in a player like Alexander would send a clear message that Baltimore is serious about contending, especially in the highly competitive AFC. They're not just looking to be average, they want to be among the best, and bolstering the secondary is a crucial part of that puzzle. Furthermore, this move would send a strong signal to their division rivals. The AFC North is stacked, with teams like Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland all fielding potent offenses. To stand a chance, Baltimore needs to improve their pass defense significantly. Alexander's addition could act as a catalyst for the entire secondary, elevating everyone's play and forcing opposing quarterbacks to think twice before throwing in their direction. So, what's the realistic outlook? Well, it's a bit of a wait-and-see game. The Packers are exploring options, and Alexander's preferences could influence the final decision. If he truly prefers to be released, the Ravens could be in a prime position to sign him without giving up a draft pick or paying a hefty price. But if the Packers find a trade partner willing to meet their asking price, Baltimore might have to consider other options or look for secondary help elsewhere. One thing's for certain, this potential move highlights the Ravens' ongoing commitment to improving their roster. They've always been a team that values smart, strategic acquisitions, especially on defense. The addition of a talent like Alexander would not only improve their immediate prospects but also send a message about their ambitions for the upcoming season. It's also worth noting that Baltimore has a reputation for developing talent and making shrewd moves in the draft and free agency, so any move to acquire Alexander would be with a clear plan in mind. Now, let's step back for a moment and think about the bigger picture. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and this kind of high-profile trade rumor is exactly what keeps fans on the edge of their seats. We've seen in recent years how impactful a single player can be when placed in the right system. Think about players like Jalen Ramsey or Stephon Gilmore, elite corners who transformed their defenses. Alexander has that kind of potential if he's healthy and motivated. And for Baltimore, adding him would be a statement move, signaling that they're serious about competing at the highest level. As we look ahead to training camp and the upcoming season, the question remains, will this trade or signing happen? Will Alexander find his way to Baltimore, or will the Packers hold on to him? It's a story that will unfold over the coming weeks, and as always, we'll be here to break it down for you, giving you all the latest updates and insights. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think bringing in Jaire Alexander would be the game-changer your team needs? Or do you believe the price tag and injury concerns are too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Ravens as well. Remember, this team is all about its fans, and your voice helps shape the conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, analysis, and breaking news, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and moves like these show just how serious the Ravens are about competing at the highest level. Whether it's through trades, draft picks, or signing key free agents, Baltimore is making it clear that they're in it to win it. So, keep your eyes peeled, stay engaged, and let's see how the story unfolds in the coming weeks. Thanks for being here, and as always, go Ravens!